This week, on another stuck-at-home edition of Talking Pictures with Neil Rosen, we'll look at the new Spike Lee film, Da 5 Bloods, featuring Delroy Lindo and Chadwick Boseman. The latest comedy from Judd Apatow, The King of Staten Island, starring Pete Davidson. A reboot of the classic TV show Perri Mason with Matthew Rhys, and Normal People, a new miniseries based on the best-selling novel. We've got all that and many more movie picks coming up. I'm Neil Rosen. Welcome to Talking Pictures. It's our monthly Critics Roundtable show where we debate what's worth watching and what's not when it comes to new releases, hidden gems, and Hollywood classics. Now, we know most of the movie theaters are still closed because of the pandemic, and you're stuck at home and probably craving some entertainment. So along with my panel, who are also all streaming from home, we have plenty of movies and TV series for you to binge watch. Joining me are Bill McCuddy from Gold Derby. Hey, Bill.
Hey, Neil.
Perri Nemiroff from Collider. How you doing, Perri?
I am so happy to be back.
Happy to have you here. And Rafer Guzman from Newsday. Hello there, Rafer.
Hey, Neil. Hey, everybody.
All right, let's start out with a look at several new films that are available on demand or streaming, beginning with a new Spike Lee film called Da 5 Bloods. Let's take a look at a clip.
I see ghosts.
What happens to all of us, man?
So you seen them too?
Yeah.
Dad come to you at night. Storm and Norm comes to me damn near every night. Now he talked to you like he talked to me. Come on. I don't think so. Come on.
Fist up.
Get in there, David. Get in there. Put your fist up, David.
Rafer, tell us about Da 5 Bloods.
All right, this is Spike Lee's new Netflix movie. It's about 4 African-American Vietnam veterans who return to that country after 50 years. They're going to find the remains of a fallen comrade, played by Chadwick Boseman, but they're also going to dig up a giant stash of gold that they buried in the jungle. And their leader this time is a guy named Paul. He's a Trump fan of all things, played by an amazing Delroy Lindo. I'm a huge Spike Lee fan. I love Do the Right Thing, obviously. I love 25th Hour. I loved Chirac. And I really wanted to love this movie. And I might be in the minority here, but I just didn't. I felt like it had a really powerful theme, this idea of Black servicemen who go to war. They come back to a country that still treats them like second-class citizens. But I felt that was mostly in conversation, and I just didn't see that in the action on screen. I felt it was really long, very meandering, and for me, it just didn't work.
Perri.
It is very, very long, and I will admit that the story structure here isn't as refined as it could have been. But the point is, it's got the thematic heft to warrant that kind of running time here. These are pretty significant experiences that these men are carrying around with them and trying to work through right now in order to carve a better path forward for themselves. And you can't really get into that unless you spend such a significant amount of time with them. And I think Spike Lee stuck the landing in that respect.
Bill?
I liked it. I'm recommending it. I enjoyed a lot more the first half of this movie than the second half when they actually get into Vietnam and they're looking for the gold and the remains of this guy, Chadwick Boseman, who's great in flashback scenes. They kind of stumble across them in kind of a sitcom-y way that disappointed me. But other than that, and a very funny performance from a bloated Jean Reno, I'm a big fan here.
Listen, I agree with you that it was too long. There's some extraneous scenes that could have been cut. People were raving about Delroy Lindo's performance. I think that at times he was quite good, but at times he went a little bit over the top. But it's an absorbing story. It's socially relevant, especially in these times, and it's a history lesson, as you said, Bill. I recommend the film. It's flawed, but overall, I think it's well worth seeing. All right, let's move on to a movie, Perri, called Sometimes Always Never.
This movie here, it stars Bill Nighy as a character named Alan. He's very into Scrabble, and what winds up happening with him is he has a game of Scrabble with his son. His son storms off, and this happened way, way back, and Alan is still looking for that son, and while he's doing that, he's also trying to reconnect with his other son and his family, who's played by Sam Riley, and this did not really work for me. I'm going to bring back the word meandering because that's how I felt watching this. And also, I just found the material kind of dull. I enjoyed some of the style and the set design here, which of course does feel very Wes Anderson, but I'm thinking of one part in particular that reminded me a little bit of Tim Burton, but what that wound up being for me is a little bit of a distraction just because it all never really came together.
Bill?
Well, I disagree. I like everything that you don't like, Perry. The Wes Anderson kind of look and feel, the quirkiness. This is an eccentric movie like they don't make anymore. And maybe you think that's good, but I think it's kind of a throwback to these kinds of 60s and 70s British films where it's very character driven, and Bill Nighy carries the entire movie. I recommend it.
Well, I'm mixed on it. It's a small indie that's not without its charms. The best scene in the movie is Nighy, who hustles somebody at Scrabble, and it's probably the best depiction of a Scrabble game ever put in a movie, if that accounts for anything. The original title was Triple Word Score, which I think is a much better title for the film. But there, Perry, I agree with you. It does meander in a lot of parts where Nighy's looking for his son, and I don't know. There's some cool visuals in it. Again, I'm mixed. All right, let's move on. Bill, tell us about a movie called The Outpost.
Well, this is written and directed by a former film critic. So what can he know? Well, it turns out a lot. His name is Rod Lurie. He did another film I like called The Contender. And The Outpost is based on the true U.S. soldiers stationed at the deadliest outpost in Afghanistan, with relentless attacks from the Taliban insurgents that surround them. They're not at the top of a hill. They're in a valley where they're actually sitting ducks. Scott Eastwood stars in this thing. He's Clint Eastwood's son, but he doesn't look anything like him. He must be adopted. No, I'm kidding. He's the spitting image. Orlando Bloom is in this thing. It does insert you right in the middle of the action, the way Platoon and Hurt Locker did, or maybe the movie it's most like, Hamburger Hill. I recommend it.
Rafer?
Yeah, I like this a lot too. This is sort of a grunt's eye view of a war that I think a lot of us really don't understand, and a lot of us wish we're done. But we're still in it, and we can't seem to leave. And these are the guys who are paying the price. I will say, I think if it has a flaw, it's the fact that it's a little tough to keep track of the characters. The one standout I would say is Caleb Landry Jones, who plays a real soldier who does have kind of a narrative arc that really pulls us into the story. But otherwise, it's a very large ensemble cast, and it's a little tough to keep track of who's who. But in terms of Afghanistan war movies, I think this is one of the better examples, and I would really recommend this.
Perry?
I had that same problem, Rafer, for about the first half of the movie where I couldn't keep track of everyone. And I also wish they had maybe done away with some of the title card use at the very beginning, because they clearly want to use that to format the film all throughout. And I think if the emphasis was placed on that, I might have gotten with that structure a little quicker. But the point is, I do think they stuck the landing. By the end of the movie, I knew everyone, and I'll agree with you on this as well. Caleb Landry Jones was the MVP of the movie for me.
The first hour failed to draw me in as the character development was weak. The second half of the movie is the battle, and all I'm listening to is for an hour is gunfire and explosions, which is desensitizing and, pun intended, winds up being overkill. It's an important battle. It deserves a movie. I just think it should have been a better movie than this.
Yeah, it's a war movie, Neil. Sorry for all the gunfire.
So I'm going to talk about a new movie called The King of Staten Island. It stars Pete Davidson from SNL. He plays a directionless guy in his mid-20s who still lives with his mom in Staten Island, and whose life's been messed up since his firefighter dad died when he was a little kid. The first half of the movie meanders around, but things change in the second half when his mom, played by Marissa Tomei, starts dating a fireman played by the very funny Bill Burr. As Davidson's character starts to get it together, so does the film. It was directed by Judd Apatow, and I think it's ultimately worth a look at clicks. Perry, what do you think?
I really enjoyed this one. I know it's a thing with Judd Apatow movies that they can feel overly long and a little all over the place, but I think with a character like Scott, who is dealing with a past trauma and trying to move on with his life, you can't just snap your fingers and expect him to change. I think he warranted this long journey in order to see him through to the end.
Rafer?
Judd Apatow movies can be long if they're funny the whole time. This movie is just not that funny. I expected more from Apatow, and I expected more from Pete Davidson. There's more to his real life story that this is trying to tell us about, but it doesn't scratch the surface as deeply as I think it should. There are a couple of lame gags that they repeat over and over again. That's lame. I was disappointed in this, and I wanted it to be better.
Rafer?
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Bill on that. I think there were two good things about this movie. One was Marissa Tomei. The other was Bill Burr. They're so good. They're so natural and fun to watch together. I would have really appreciated a movie about their relationship with Pete Davidson's character as a very small role. I really disliked this character of Scott. I thought he was unlikable, sort of psychopathic, willing to put people in harm's way. I kept waiting for a redeeming quality. The film never gave me one, and I just couldn't stick with it for 2 hours and 15 minutes of Scott.
I think
I have no reason to go to Staten Island now.
Listen, I'm happy to see the borough of Staten Island getting some love in this movie. I like Bel Powley in the movie. I think the movie eventually does become funny. Is it Apatow's best? No, but I definitely think it's worth a look. There are some great TV series that are streaming right now to binge watch. We're going to tell you about a few, starting with something called Normal People. Here's a clip.
I don't want to get into a fight with you or anything.
We're not fighting.
I know you probably hate me, but you're the only person who actually talks to me.
Never said that I hated you.
Well, I like you.
It's training, so
Good luck at the match tomorrow.
Thanks.
Perri, tell everyone about Normal People.
So Normal People is a Hulu show that's based on the Sally Rooney novel, and it stars Daisy Edgar Jones and Paul Mescal as Marianne and Connell. Even though they're part of very different social circles at school, they wind up forming a relationship, a pretty complex one. And what the show does is it just follows them through from school all the way to college, and it just shows how that relationship develops along the way. And I really think the standouts in this show are Daisy Edgar Jones and Paul Mescal, who are both fantastic, but
They're
also
phenomenal.
They're so good. We also have to talk about Lenny Abramson and Hetty McDonald, though, who direct the series, because that's one of the major assets here is just their sensitive, light touch on the camera. And the fact that they just let you live with these characters as their relationship blossoms in really complex ways that I think mirrors real life complexities more so than a lot of other romances we say.
Rafer?
Yeah, I was a big fan of this book, and I was really surprised to see that they could find two actors who embodied those roles so perfectly. It was kind of stunning to see them on screen, and they're both great. I agree with you, Perri, about this series up to a point. I do feel like there's really only one kind of interesting or important beat that happens per episode, and the rest of it is really a lot of mood and atmosphere, which I've started to feel a little trying after a while. You know, the cinematography is a little oppressive. I feel like the color scheme in this thing is basically dark gray and light gray, and I would like a little bit of some variety sort of episode to episode. I liked it. I just wish that they had made it a little easier for me to tune in each time.
Bill?
We should warn people, there's a tremendous amount of nudity between these two people, but and that's not normally in television shows, but this is very deftly handled, very straightforward, and some of the flatness that you guys are talking about, I think, is one of the strengths of the series. I highly recommend it.
Listen, to me, this was a remarkable achievement. I was so absorbed in the lives of these two people. I mean, I was sorry to see it end. As far as what you're referencing, Bill, I don't like sex scenes in movies. I find them gratuitous.
Yeah, we want to believe that, Neil.
No, in this particular series, it's really integral to understanding the characters, and the two actors in this, Daisy Edgar Jones and Paul Mescal, are superb in pulling those difficult scenes, you know, doing them. The rarity of these two people, the relationship of them not realizing that they're perfect for each other, just had me in the whole way. And I think it's smart, moving, heartbreaking, and it's
okay. We get it. We love it too.
I love it. All right, let's move on. Perri Mason, tell us about that, Rafer. Not the 1960s television show, the new HBO series.
Right, this is sort of the origin story of Perri Mason, but in this case, he's not really the upstanding lawyer that we remember from the original television show. He's a bedraggled private eye played by Matthew Rhys. He's living in Depression-era Los Angeles, doing a lot of menial grunt work on his job, but he gets a break when he gets a big case to look into a sensational kidnapping that ends with the gruesome death of an infant. I guess I'll just say one thing about this show that I bet we're all going to agree with, which is that it looks fantastic.
It does.
Period detail is amazing. Everything from the newspapers to the actual trolley cars in Los Angeles, it's extraordinary looking. I think Matthew Rhys puts in a really good performance. I was really compelled by the story. I love the whole Chinatown vibe. I would say one thing about this, the same thing I said about Normal People. I think it tries a little too hard to be serious and grown up and dark. I could have used a little levity here and there from somebody, just a little humor to vary things up. but otherwise, I found this pretty compelling and pretty fun to binge watch.
Bill?
Well, I like this a lot too, and maybe a little more than Rafer. I'll have to say one thing about it. Don't just watch the first episode. It does one of the best first to second episode jumps that I've ever seen in an 8-hour series because it lays a lot of groundwork at the beginning. I also think it has kind of a Chinatown vibe, which I think is amazing. It's a dense story that takes a long time. It's not like the TV series where we get one different case in every show. Stick with this thing to the end. It's absolutely worth it.
Perri?
I couldn't agree more with you, Bill. I found it a little difficult to keep up with the quick talking PIs where I was getting a little frustrated and feeling like I was being told the information rather than playing along with the investigation. But when this thing really digs its claws in, it gets going big time, and stick it through to the end, because I just feel like the questions it answers, but the questions it leaves you with, that's what makes this experience so interesting.
I agree with everything that Bill and Perri said. I have nothing to add. And I do like the Chinatown, LA Confidential vibe also. All right, moving on. I'm going to tell you about a show on HBO called Run. It's a new series with a really interesting premise. Two ex-lovers who haven't seen or spoken to each other since their college days 17 years ago made a pact before they broke up. One of them texts the word run, R-U-N, and the other replies immediately with the same word. Wherever they are in the world, whatever their lives are like, they have to drop everything and meet 24 hours later in Grand Central Station and then take a train together across the country for 1 week. Merritt Wever as an overwhelmed wife with 2 kids and Donald Gleason as the motivational speaker and author play the pair. They're both sensational and have amazing chemistry. Phoebe Waller-Bridge from Fleabag is one of the producers. HBO, please renew the show for another season. Perri?
I am not nearly as enthusiastic about this one as you. I thought the story was fine. It never really clicked for me. I think the main reason to watch this is Merritt Wever and Donald Gleason. The two of them are great in everything they're in, and it's just fun watching them do the verbal sparring back and forth together.
Rafer?
I'll keep it short. I despise this series, and I despise this. I've never been stuck in a train with 2 more smug, self-satisfied, annoying people in my life. It was like being caught in a room with a bunch of theater majors and improv actors who force you to be their audience while they think that they're just being the cutest, most adorable thing on earth. I could not wait to get away from these people.
Oh my goodness. Bill, I wish you had a card that said Rafer is wrong. What's your opinion? I have a feeling.
No, I agree. And I'll be even blunter. If you're flipping around and come on this show, don't stay, run.
Oh, come on. It's one part comedy, mystery, thriller, twists and turns, romance.
Oh, wait, you've got more to tell us about it, please.
Terrific.
I'm no dummy. I work in the city. And I know a man pretending to be a woman when I see one, and I see 3 right in front of me. This is not that kind of establishment.
Your uniform of ill-fitting J.Crew culottes, fake pearls, and 50-cent scrunchies cannot conceal the fact that you do not know who you are. I know our presence threatens you. We fought for our place at this table, and that has made us stronger than you will ever be. Now pick your jaw up off the floor and go back to your clam chowder and shallow conversations. My girlfriends and I aren't going anywhere.
That was a clip from the TV series Pose. It's Perri Nemiroff's personal choice as we go around the panel with our critics' picks of the month. Perri?
I am obsessed with this FX series that is now available to stream on Netflix. It puts a spotlight on the LGBTQ ballroom scene in New York City in the 1980s, where the participants are trying to win trophies, but also trying to bring recognition to their houses, which are essentially families, just not ones that you're born into. I really just fell so hard for this ensemble here. We all know Billy Porter got a whole bunch of Emmy recognition for this show, but keep an eye out for MJ Rodriguez too, who really is the heart of this. But the way I would describe Pose is its heart is always in the right place, and it always feels like a warm hug whenever I'm putting on an episode. It just feels like a place that you are getting a warm, warm welcome into, and who doesn't need that right now?
Rafer, go ahead.
Yeah, I like this too. I guess the actress I'd want to give a shout out to is India Moore, who plays Angel. She's a transgender model who's been doing well in this underground circuit, but she wants to join the real modeling world. And you can really see her sort of a kid in the candy store, her nose pressed to the glass. She wants that respectability. She wants that legitimacy so bad. It's a really affecting character, and I like the show a lot.
Bill?
Listen, this is Billy Porter from start to finish. I got sucked into this world completely, and I didn't think I would be. So I recommend don't look at this thing from the outside and go, oh, this won't interest me. It's fascinating, and I enjoyed it completely.
Yeah, I agree. Perri, I would have never watched this if you didn't recommend it. And not only am I hooked, my wife and daughter are hooked on it too. And characters are terrific. And I've always been a fan of Billy Porter going back to Kinky Boots. And it's a groundbreaking TV series for mainstream television. All right, let's move on. What is your pick, Bill, this month?
I went to Sundance a couple of years ago for 8th Grade. Comedian Bo Burnham has written and directed this film about a young girl who's 13 years old, Elsie Fisher. It's a career-making role for her. It is the quintessential 13-year-old experience as she is struggling with that. Acne and all, and for the first time ever in Hollywood, everyone is age appropriate. They're not like in their 30s playing 12 and 13. This is one of the best films of that year, and if you didn't see it, it got 99% on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm sure that 1% is Neil Rosen, but let's find out. I love it.
I like the film. Listen, there's so many coming-of-age movies, but the one that makes this different, other than the good writing and the good acting, is the fact that this one deals with how social media has become the predominant force in young people's lives. And I thought that was really well done and well terrific. So no, I'm not that 1%. I would say definitely check this out. Perri?
This was also in my top 10 of 2018. I absolutely adore this movie. And one of the most impressive aspects of it is how Bo Burnham embraces the humor and the nostalgia of looking back at scenarios when you're that young, but also fully respects that for someone that age, those are the biggest deals in the world to you. And the way he balances those two things with such authenticity and sincerity really makes the landing stick so hard for Kayla in this.
Rafer?
Yeah, I mean, I wish I had something different to say, but I loved it too. It was also one of my favorites of that year. And I think it's one of these movies that has kind of a corny message at its heart, be yourself, but there's just something about the way it's delivered that's so uncorny and so untreacly, and it really just hits hard. I think it's the kind of movie that, you don't have to be in 8th grade to sort of get that message and appreciate it. It really stuck with me. It's a great film.
So Rafer, what is your pick this month?
Something very similar. No, not.
I know what you're thinking, so that's why I'm laughing. You talk about
no, it's a whole different ballgame. It's a movie called Upgrade, directed by Leigh Whannell. It's set in sort of the near future. It stars Logan Marshall Green as kind of an old-fashioned guy in a newfangled world. He's a car mechanic at a time when nobody even drives cars anymore. What happens is his wife winds up getting killed. He's left paralyzed, but there's a wealthy inventor who gives him a little thing called STEM. It's a chip that gets implanted in his brain. It allows him to walk again, but it also allows him to become an unstoppable killing machine who can go out and hunt down the men who killed his wife. I love this movie. I recommend it because Leigh Whannell is getting a lot of attention for Invisible Man right now, but I think this is a better movie. I would call it high quality pulp. I think it is inventive, funny, bloody, and really smart. I like the fact that it's a buddy cop film where the buddy is inside your head. They're making a television series out of it, and I hope it pays off the way the movie did.
Perri?
When Upgrade came out, I just could not get over the level of precision and ingenuity on display there. And when you do pair this with Invisible Man, I think it is so clear that Leigh Whannell is someone with all the capability and style in the world, but someone who uses that style to serve story and character rather than to be a flashy camera trick.
Bill?
I really liked this movie in 1987 when it was called RoboCop. I don't think this has done anything interesting or different to it. Yes, it has some directing flourish in places, and we should be watching this person, but this movie I can't recommend.
It steals
I'm
from a lot of...
downgrading it.
Break my heart.
It steals from a lot of films, but I don't care. It's clever. It's overly violent, but if you like that sort of thing, I think it's worth a look. Well, my pick is from 1957, and it's a classic movie called Sweet Smell of Success. Burt Lancaster is J.J. Hunsucker, the most powerful newspaper columnist in New York, who wants to stop his sister from marrying a jazz musician at any cost. He enlists the aid of Sidney Falco, played by Tony Curtis, an unethical, sleazy, sniveling, bottom-rung press agent who needs Hunsucker to help publicize his low-end clients. Making things more interesting is both men have absolutely no morals. The movie shot on location in New York City and really captures nightlife around town in a bygone era. The movie is not only an amazing time capsule, it also has a brilliant screenplay filled with scathing dialogue by Ernest Lehman and Clifford Odets.
I'd hate to take a bite out of you. You're a cookie full of arsenic.
If you don't want to take my word for it, both Time Magazine and Martin Scorsese called it one of the greatest movies ever made. Bill, what are you laughing? You're sitting there laughing.
Well, there's nothing else to say. This is a classic shot in glorious black and white at a time in New York when people had that kind of power, and I can't help but recommend it. You've really gone out on another limb here.
Yeah, well, it's not, a lot of people don't know about the movie, Rafer.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great movie. I think one of the things I love about it is that it's so gross. It's such a shockingly sleazy, ugly, slimy movie. Everybody is a creep. It's amazing this thing sold in 1957. It's the kind of movie John Waters would have made if he'd been directing in 1957. It's a great film.
Perri, close it out.
I'm always shocked by how quickly this movie sucks me in when I don't like almost any of the characters in it. They're all such jerks and they are so despicable. One other thing I got to point out here is the score, though. I could just listen to this score without the actual movie over and over. I love jazz.
Well, that's all the time we have. With any luck, we've given you some movies and TV shows to watch to help pass the time in this time of crisis. I want to thank Rafer Guzman.
Bye, Neil.
Bill McCuddy.
Wait, we're out of time? No!
And Perri Nemiroff.
I'm totally bringing some signs next time.
There you go. Stay well. I'm Neil Rosen. Join us next time on Talking Pictures.